Hello.
Good evening,
Welcome.
morning, afternoon.
Good everything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby. I can't wait until I can start doing like festive introductions.
I mean, you can
So I can
technically
start
you can
calling
do that
myself
whenever. No
like
one's
Mince Pie
stopping.
Pete or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I can't do like festive names until it's like the right time. So I have to wait. I have
So
to wait for it to be
starting
ready.
next week, yeah.
Yeah, starting next week, festive only casts coming to you.
Nice.
We're talking Christmas nonstop.
Or any other holiday that you might celebrate.
Yeah. Well, it's not even Christmas I want to talk about,
Trying
it's
to
just
take
Santa.
the fucking baby Jesus from us.
It's just Santa Claus I want to talk about.
They're having
That's it.
fun over there without a little fucking diorama of the baby in the manger.
Why is the baby Jesus black?
Why can't I put a Union Jack on the baby Jesus? Fucking
Where's his
Brexit.
poppy?
Where's Jesus?
Why has baby Jesus not got a poppy? The sad thing is that's the same. That's the kind of stuff that like the faux outrage that actually happens in this
Yeah.
country on a yearly basis. Like no one ever says anything like they want to take Christmas from you. Like no, they don't. No one's ever said that.
I'm just
Like you've
fucking.
made this up.
I'm losing my mind at the thought of like some absolute gammon parent going to their kids' nativity play, sorry, and then fucking put a poppy on the baby Jesus, and he just stands up and starts clapping like class act baby Jesus.
Classic, absolute classic.
Great that, great that.
No, they do this all. They do this all the time in like the UK media and that, don't they? They do this whole. It's like this faux outrage that they've made up. They're like,
Yeah,
oh, they want to make Father Christmas gay or whatever, or like, oh, they hate you having your Christmas. Like, no one ever says that. Everyone's just like, no one cares. They just celebrate. Everyone just celebrates their own thing. No one
yeah.
gives a shit. But they make this like narrative that like, oh, the scary foreign folk and gay folk. Ooh, like I
I've
don't think I've
never.
ever. I don't think I've ever heard a
Yeah,
gay person go, "Father Christmas is actually gay." Sorry, and
yeah.
like get really upset about it. Like no one. That's never happened. No one's ever heard that. It's never happened in history.
Yeah, well, there was that outrage. I think it was last Christmas, maybe the Christmas before, where that one of like for the first time ever, there was a mall center that was black, and that weird like Fox News Aryan wench was like, "No, Santa's just white. He's just white. That's fact." Like, he's not real.
Yeah,
Not
it's
real.
mad that it's mad that. Speaking of, I do like those like Santa denier memes though. Those are quality.
Of course, 'cause Santa is absolutely real.
The mental gymnastics that go into denying Santa Claus. Man's real. Right, but yeah, God, we're like 4 minutes in now and said anything like introductory. Welcome to Desperate for Content episode something.
It'll be
Um
18, I believe.
18. Whoa, coming
In
up to the big
England, our
2-0.
podcast can drink alcohol, baby.
Hey, get some suds in for the pod.
Now, not being an alcohol drinker myself, I'm going to try this phrase out. It's
Go
time
on.
for the podcast to get slizzard. I believe the term is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That
Popping
sounded
balls
really
in the
cool.
ice or something. I don't know.
That sounded really, really, really cool. Everybody
Thank
thinks you're
you.
dead cool.
I love if you listen to the podcast now, just send me a written letter just telling me I'm cool, please.
I would like that. That would be
Yeah.
a good present for me. I
Um,
would actually approve of that, especially with someone I don't know. If it's someone I know, then I'm going to think, you're just saying it, aren't you? If someone I don't know and they're just like, send me a letter saying, like, you're mint, I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe I am. You know? Maybe I'm all right. Maybe
might
I'm
get to the
mint.
point where you become Ringo Starr. You're like, no, no more.
No more fan mail. No fan
I
mail.
don't know why it would get to a point where it was such a burden for him. Does he not have a PO box? Does he literally just have it go to his own
Well,
home?
this is the thing. I was thinking, like, he must just get so much of it, and it must just be arriving to like one spot, right?
Yep.
Like, if he's that fumed about it, like he was absolutely raging Ringo about that.
Raging Ringo. I've got a
Raging
raging Ringo,
Ringo.
right?
It's I've always got a raging Ringo, to be fair.
I do have to rate a
Um,
curry. Um,
that's such like Dad's WhatsApp group banner, innit?
The wife
Yeah,
married dates.
the missus. God,
God.
it is, isn't it? It's just like Dad's WhatsApp group where it's just that their idea of like a meme is just like a picture of someone in the news and then a white bar underneath it because they don't know how to put text onto an
Yeah.
image. So like a little text box that says, "Oi oi, he's clearly had some trouble at home." Like, so I don't even know. I can't even make it up.
This is how many pints I have on a night out, and it's someone just holding a ludicrous amount of drinks.
Or
Um,
it's like a picture of like two blokes ready to get in a fight, and it says Manchester United fans and Arsenal fans. Like,
and that's a immaculate dub there, boss.
I love that guy though. He's great.
Arsenal fan TV is always funny,
He's great banter. That guy. He's proper funny.
but yeah.
Oh God.
So,
Yeah. Here we are.
what have you been up to this week, pal?
What have I been up to? I've been working, mate. I feel like I say this every week.
I mean,
Um,
you do work nearly every week.
I do
That's
work.
big,
Yeah.
don't we?
No, a lot of work this week. A lot of like important work, which is good.
Yeah,
All went well. Be happy to know. Got some
excellent.
very good feedback. Other than that, I've just been trying to buy Christmas presents. It's like that point now where I'm trying to get everybody's stuff early because
Yeah,
knowing me, I usually leave shit late, and then that's awful because you're like, oh, soz, like your presents arriving on Boxing Day because I'm lazy and I forgot. But no, I've just been trying to get like I'm using Etsy for a lot of stuff. Like I'm trying to get a lot of sort of like
yeah.
homemade stuff, and I think it's more unique and it's nice to just support these people, especially with what's going on.
No,
Um,
absolutely. I did all my shopping last month. However, speaking of Etsy,
last
I have,
month, fuck me.
I have one last present coming from a seller on
Ooh.
there, which hasn't had any tracking updates since the 11th of November. I pinged them and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" Not in an RC like Boomo, like, "Hey,
What
give
are you
me
doing? Where's me
where's my
fucking
fucking thing?
puppy?
There's no puppy on the receipt." No, I was just like, "Oh, it's just not," because it's from it's an international thing, so I don't know whether it's just a case of like they stopped tracking it at a certain point or something, and they were like,
Yeah, I get that a lot with like international
yeah.
deliveries.
So I'm not too worried, but I thought I'd ping just in case because it is going to be a Christmas present. So I thought I just said to them, I was like, "Oh, is this normal? Like when you're shipping
Yeah,
internationally?" I thought I'd check in now just in case something has gone wrong, so there's plenty of time before Christmas to get it fixed.
yeah,
And they were
exactly.
just like, "Oh, well, I'll chase it up with the U.S. Postal Service on Monday and get you a more specific tracking number because I think at some point it goes out of the Etsy tracker's hands and then goes to specific mail carriers."
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean,
It's so
this happens a
fascinating
lot.
stuff. Like,
This is prime content. This is just it's what we do in you're adults. Honestly,
yeah.
like never get old because it just fucking descends into conversations like this all the
I
time.
disagree though. I like a lot of people like try and recapture their youth and like stay in touch with their inner child. But if you remember ever actually sit there, and remember being a kid, it just fucking sucked, dude. You
Oh no,
couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do shit.
I won't lie. Like it's like because like I think the older I get, the more I realize that like you're not truly like old until you're like what post 50, 60.
Yeah,
Like you're pretty much just still chilling. Like the 30s are just an extension of the 20s. Let's be honest. Like it's pretty much still just the same shit. Like you're
yeah,
still just chilling. But the thing that like changed me the most is that realization that being an adult kind of owns. Like it's kind of great
yeah,
because you reach this point where you find enjoyment in both the like fun, entertaining, and I guess like more childlike stuff that you enjoy
yeah,
and also adult shit. Like I can get a big buzz out of like getting a brand new video game, and
yeah.
I can also get a massive buzz out of like buying a fucking spatula. Like you know what I mean? It's one of those things. I'm like hell yeah, dude. Like I enjoy everything now, and I have the
Perfectly
like
weighted
fun.
spatula.
Yeah, that's the thing. Or like some fucking non-stick pan or whatever with a picture of I don't know what's that boxing promoter called?
George Foreman.
Him on the bottom. No, the one with the funky hair.
Oh, Don
Don
King.
something. Yeah, I don't know why I thought of a Don King fucking frying pan, but
Right?
it could work. Like a little Don King branded frying pan. No, like you get enjoyment out of everything, and you have also the funds, and I guess in a way the time to deal with it. Because this is
Yeah,
the thing I was thinking as well. Like yeah, obviously we lose all our time to just working, right?
yeah,
But when you're at like university and stuff, I pretty much just used all my time at university. Like if I wasn't like at uni or like studying or whatever, I was just like sat at home, like at university. You don't really go anywhere. You don't really have the money to go anywhere. So now I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It's great to be able to just sit there and go, hey, I want to buy a fucking Monopoly Man plush toy for no reason. I'm gonna do it. It's great. That's the buzz of adulthood. I've bought like 3 giant Yankee candles in the past month. These are the joys of being an
Gotta have
adult.
candles, bro.
Oh, I love them. I love them, man. I've got that little electric lighter as well. Ooh.
Yeah, it's a bit
Ooh.
like I can't enjoy them much anymore because with our dog being a pug, you've got to be careful with what kind of candles and stuff you use, in case it like
Is it
fucks with their
to do with the
respiratory
noses and
system.
that?
Yeah, so it's a
Oh, yeah,
choice
because they have
between Yankee
proper. Yeah.
candles and having a pug, and let's just say I won't have a
Yeah, I'd
pug
go
much
for the
longer
dog, to be
because I'm
fair.
gonna have myself a bubble bath and kill that little fuck. I'm kidding. I won't.
Like, sorry, pug. The Yankee Christmas cookie smells great. Get it in.
Relax with your dad forever.
It
Um,
does. To be fair though, Yankee Christmas candle.
oh,
It's
yeah.
it's the play. It's good, man. It's good.
So very boring. I love
It's a
candles, but
good
when it
one.
comes to like fragrances and stuff, I'm always like the ones that smell like linen.
No, I don't know. Like for me, I've always been this way with a lot of stuff. Like fruity flavors in general. I don't vibe with fruity. I vibe with sweet.
Yeah,
Like
fruities like some like fruity candles, like the one with like more citrus base, are always like really harsh. I found.
yeah, like I mean, I can vibe with them. Like I can enjoy a good fruity candle kind of
Yeah,
thing, but not too much. Whereas like I know this goes with like flavors and shit as well. You know when you get like flavored sweets and shit that are
yeah.
like orange flavored or whatever. I would much rather have like a light toffee or something. Like I don't know, like fruit stuff is just overpowering, man.
I
Like
disagree. When it comes to sweets, my favorite sweet is the sherbet lemon because I'm an OAP. But
oh, that's weird.
oh, I love sherbet lemons and cherry drops
I,
as well. Some hard boiled sweets for a
to be
hard boiled
fair,
working
I
class man.
I used to eat mint imperials all the time.
Mint
So
imperials fuck so hard.
I mean, they really do, don't they?
That's my
Mint
brother's
mint
shit.
imperials
Like
absolutely shag.
every time we like other kids, like when mum and dad like have enough money to get us like some sweets and stuff. Like, what do you want? He's asking me, I'm like sherbet lemons, some fucking chocolate buttons, standard shit. I'm like, all right, Dean, what do you want? And he'd be like, mint imperials and some fucking shortbread because he's fucking 70
Yes,
years
old
old.
man. No, you know what I used to do? I always remember this is because like my family always talks about it.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was like fucking little porky boy, and whenever we went to the sweet shop with my granddad and my grandma, um, it was always like get something you want, and obviously my cousins were a little older than me, and it's like within reason, they know to choose within reason,
Yeah.
and I was always like, no, I want a pound of fudge. Like every time I was like, I want fudge.
Oh, you know
And
what?
then
I've got a craving for now talking about sweets. A fucking Murray mint.
fudge. Oh, Murray mints are alright, but no. Every time I got this like bag of fudge, the worst thing was that every single time, without fail, we'd be on the way to go and get some lunch afterwards, and I'm just sat in the back of the car like I feel sick because I just snarfed the entire fucking pack of fudge. Just like which between getting it at the shop and going to the
I'm
going to
sick,
the place we
but
went for
I'm a
lunch.
naughty little fudge boy.
I was like, right, naughty little fudge boy. That's my title. That's my new title. Naughty little fudge boy.
Oh, fruity
I'm the naughty
candles.
little fudge boy of this podcast.
Um,
Welcome to the Fudge Cast.
on the off chance, it'll not happen, but mother, father, my dearest parents, if you're listening to this podcast, turn it off now because spoilers. But what I got, one of the presents I got my mum and dad was one of those online, like, it's like a box with like little
Mm.
jars in it, with, like vintage sweets in, and like the packaging set up so it looks like an old like sweet shop window.
Oh,
So
that's
I've got
kind of
them a big
cool.
fucking thingy of that.
And it's online, so it's
Yeah,
online sweets.
I'll
Like,
send you a link to it.
oh no, I thought you meant like the jar was online, so the
No, no,
sweets
it's
aren't
like a
actually
physical thing.
real.
It's like a box.
The sweets aren't actually real. You just like download an image of sweets and put it in the jar.
Mum, Dad, I brought you the idea of sweets.
Yeah. So they can just look at it and go, "Oh, what do you fancy today, love? Oh, put some Maltesers in there." And they just download a picture of some Maltesers.
Jesus. Um,
Imagine you go around to your parents' house and they're just like putting the hand in this imaginary jar and go, these are
speaking of
delicious.
speaking of downloading food and eating it, um,
Mm.
one of my most notorious internet posts of all time involves that specific topic. So it was back in the day. I think it was around 2011, and I was still using the Tumblr. If
Mm.
any OAPs in the chat remember Tumblr,
Oh yeah,
um,
baby.
and some, like, it was around about the time where like you hear right wing people complaining about fake wokeness, but like Tumblr was literally the peak of like just people just pulling shite out their arse just to talk absolute bollocks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
One
mean,
of the highlights was the word "suck" as a slur. But anyway,
uh,
this somebody made a post saying some absolute horse shit about like how art and the creation of art is more important than the practicality of feeding the homeless, or like poor people and stuff. So I remember just reblogging it and putting, "Yeah, I remember one Christmas where we didn't have any food, so my brother just drew us a picture of mashed potato. It was great. We ate the pencils too, and it just exploded. And this person just got fucking ratioed because I thought I was funny."
oh
Ah,
man, no, but like, so that's the thing. A lot of that stuff gives like it kind of gives us a bad image,
yeah,
like those of us on the left, because that's all the people like in the sort of center right, which
yeah,
I think the majority of like the general population are probably center right, like if they
yeah,
don't even realize it, just like neoliberal shit, like fairly socially liberal, but
it's
like
how they've been programmed, man.
not too much,
Yeah,
but I feel like that's one of the big things where people are like, oh, that's what you do though. You just complain about everything and are offended by everything. It's like, well, that's not true.
it's not
Like,
our fault that there's a lot of fucking problems, dude. Like,
yeah, like I mean, like we'll point out when things are like actually offensive, but the stuff like that, like there was someone the other day. It must have been satire. Like I hope it was
yeah,
satire, saying that like poggers was like offensive or something like that, and stuff like that. Like nobody actually thinks that way.
yeah,
Like this is, and people's like think that that's the typical thing that people do, like on the left is like go, oh, this is an issue. Like the word, I don't know, ham sandwich or something has like racist connotations. But like, no, we don't do that. We don't do that at all. Like the whole like Tumblr wokeness was the funniest thing because it was just that. It was people just getting like up in arms about something on a weekly basis, something that just really like minute,
yeah.
like oh the way Ash Ketchum like turns his cap round, like that's a dog whistle. Do you know what I mean? It was something like that every time, like, every
To be
week.
fair, Ash Ketchum's a fucking useless scumbag, so
He
fuck him.
really is. The one that made me laugh the most though, like recently, was there was someone like getting really really like upset about the fact that someone said like, hey, like if you don't eat vegetables, you're a child or something like that.
Yeah,
And there was someone getting super upset about that, like just because we're fussy eaters, some of us have like medical conditions. I'm like, well, yeah, but we're not making fun of a medical condition, are we?
yeah.
Like, if you are
As
one of those
someone
people,
as someone who has a medical condition which affects my intake of food, it's called ARFID. I think I've spoke about it before. It's in,
yeah, I think you mentioned that.
and like that it doesn't, basically these things don't, it's not localized to vegetables. It can be like certain textures, certain smells and stuff like that. So like I think that person who got annoyed just took the fact that they don't eat vegetables personally. Like if someone came up to me like you see the posts make the round on Twitter and stuff every now and then, like oh, picky eaters are children, and it's like, yeah, I can see where you come to that conclusion. It's not the case for me. Like I'm a picky eater because I'd have a panic attack or I'd just vomit everything that I've just eaten back up.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's
the
like,
the thing to me is like there are a lot of things that are worth getting upset about, and then there
yeah,
are stuff like that that is literally just it's just harmless banner. Like it's literally just harmless banner. Like people stop making fun of me because I don't eat carrots or whatever. Like I don't eat vegetables. Make fun of me. Do it. Call me a child. I don't give a shit. But the amount of people that actually have a medical issue that were saying that are probably like slim to none. Do
yeah.
you know what I
I
mean?
was
It's
probably
like
people being insulted on behalf of people like me with
Yeah, like for something like
Like, I
that,
don't
like
care, bro.
come on, dude. It's about like
It's like when
you
people
fuck
are
your
like,
talents.
"Oh,
Like
all those Marvel movies are shite. They're made for kids." I'm like, I enjoy them, and I don't care what you think about them.
yeah, like I enjoy them. That's like I enjoyed this, I enjoyed that. It's like, I mean, like Mandalorian, for example. I saw some people saying like, "Oh, it's just like fan service, whatever." Like, yeah, good.
I'm
That's
a
what I
fan.
want.
Service me.
Yeah, I am a fan, and I am being serviced. Latest Mandalorian is very good, by the way. If anyone actually
I've
watches.
I don't think I've seen the latest episode. Last episode I saw was the one with WWE Sasha Banks in it.
Oh, that was recent as well.
Former
It's
So
this season.
yeah,
I like the fact that they do this every time. I think in pretty much every single TV show that they have a wrestling star in, like as a
yeah.
guest bit, they give them zero lines. They just give them no lines because they're just like, yeah, this is probably isn't gonna go down well.
I remember The Rock was on an episode of Star Trek, and he had no lines, but he still did the rock bomb.
What why did he rock bottom someone on
Because it
Star
was like
Trek?
he used, I think it was just some like ritual alien combat thing. So he was like, because to be fair, the rock bottom, even though it's a wrestling move, you could see it being
It's
applied in like a
just
judo
yeah, it's
or
just a slam in it.
yeah.
Like
Speaking of
what about a
media, though, I've
hmm.
been playing after you talked it up a lot in the last when we were nominating our Game Award things. I downloaded and have been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Absolutely
It's
good.
shite. I'm kidding. It's wonderful.
I'm so glad you're enjoying it. I told you it's insanely good. Like it's me as someone who didn't. I think you did play the original like quite a lot, right?
Yeah, I mean, not quite a lot. I've had like 1.5 playthroughs. Like I played through it, and then when I think it was Advent Children came out, my hype got back up, and I was like, I'm gonna play it again. Borrowed it off my cousin because I never actually owned it. I've always either played like it borrowed off someone, and I got halfway through my second playthrough, and I was like, okay, I'm done. So I know the story, like the original story and stuff like that.
Mm.
And it was nice to have the remake expand on it. I'm not finished yet. I don't think I'm at any because there was the whole controversy of like they've changed too much and all that stuff, but it's a remake, so and I haven't got to the point that I know people complained about the most, but so far with the changes and stuff they've made and like how it plays and stuff, I don't think I would ever go back and play the original unless something happens in this final act that I've gotten up to where I'm like, I'd like to experience this again. But like it's just a better game all around, in my
Yeah, it
opinion.
is. It's a lot of fun. The gameplay is very very fun. And as I was saying, I think last time, I love the fact that all the characters actually have value. Like they didn't just introduce
Yeah.
characters like in the original game, like Wedge and Jesse and stuff that just don't say shit.
Yeah.
Like they don't say anything; they just sort of appear and disappear. Whereas in this, like they're fully fledged characters. They actually have proper dialogue. Like they have backstories. Like you go and the whole Jesse's backstory thing is sad,
Yeah.
man. You go to Jesse's house and like visit a like dying dad and shit. Like
And
it's
rummage through his
insane.
pockets.
Yeah, just rummage through him whilst he's like lying there in a coma or some shit. Like
Fuck me.
whilst fucking Biggs keeps going on about like oh no it's Wedge in it. He just keeps
Yeah,
chatting about fucking pizza
yeah.
whilst he's there like oh Jesse's mom's pizza. Sure, you don't have any more pizza, mate. You've had enough.
But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it. Fuck trying to do the pro pull ups though. I don't have the hand eye coordination for that shit.
Do it.
No.
Do it, G.
I missed my chance to become leader of the dartboard thing because I was like, I'll master this. Come back to it. Nope.
Oh, see, the dartboard thing, I didn't realize people struggled with it because I did it first
Oh
time.
no, I think because I had a go of it, like just a quick go, got a decent score, so my middle on the table on my first try, and I was like, oh, okay. And then when I got a trophy and it popped up, and I opened the thing just to see what it was. It was something to do with combat, and I was scrolling down just looking at the achievements and stuff, and I saw
Yeah,
there was
there's
one.
one for getting like a like top score on
Yeah,
the
top score. So like, all
darts.
right, I'll go back and do that whenever I can. And oh, it's too far gone in the story to do that. So
Did that first time, baby.
well,
I tell you though, the last level of pull-ups is insanely difficult.
yeah, I'm not even gonna try it. I tried it twice, and I could feel myself getting enraged, and I'd hardly ever get enraged at games these days. I had my fair share of salt when I used to play League and stuff. Um, but I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this game. I don't want to sully it. I'll just leave. Um, but yeah, also bought out all the stock from that little Moogle kid, so his business is ruined because the other kids aren't buying ethers and potions from him. That's for true. Um, but yeah,
No,
it's pretty good.
it's a belter of a game, dude. It's just it's very memorable. I think it's one of those games that's very very memorable. Like it'll stick with me. Like, it'll stay with me for a while. The story of it. Yeah, just a good ass game. Play it, please. Everybody play it.
I
Like
don't know if
go
it's
play it
I don't know if it's
right
yet to
now.
come. But there was a mention of I don't know what I know it was intentionally bleeped out because of the weird voodoo hokey cokey ghost shit that's going on in the background, but like they sort of like tried to deny the existence of Zach, and I'm like, is he going to appear in a cutscene or something? Because
Okay.
obviously, I can't wait for
Yeah, don't worry about it.
because if he's there, I want him to do the fucking. Where are you from? Me, Gone Gaga.
I'm just gonna say, don't worry about it.
Yeah, because I love Zach. Big lad.
You're near the end, right?
Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm just doing a bunch of quests. The one I'm doing at the moment is like I've got the key for all of Corneo's vaults and stuff, so I'm just going finding the doors to get his stuff. Um, so yeah, I think I've got that, and I've got one quest that's still question mark. So I don't know if that comes after, but I'll find that and do that because I'm one of those people as if the side quests I like do every single one of them. But no,
I was like that with that game too.
yeah, I think it's just one of those games. The best way I can put it, like the thing that appeals to me the most is like it doesn't give you too much of the fun stuff. It like drip feeds it to you, so you're like, okay, I can't wait to get to the next section because I know more of this is coming, type thing. Like it doesn't feel oversaturated in any particular area. There's a lot of dialogue in it, but it doesn't feel like Mass Effect One, where you're like, oh god, here's a wall of text to get through. Um, it's like really well balanced between like action, story, and like items and leveling up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's super good. Like, I mean, I honestly, like the actual combat wise, I think Kingdom Hearts combat, which is pretty much what it is, it's
yeah,
very very similar, is very good.
yeah. I mean, I've always enjoyed Kingdom Hearts. I haven't played the new one. I might after this, like if I've really got a hankering, I might finally go do Kingdom Hearts 3. But yeah, like the only literally the only gripe I have with the game is I can't follow shit into the air as Cloud in Punisher stands because I always use the Buster Sword. Um, if that was possible, the combat would be perfect. But other than that, it's just I just swapped a Barrett and just machine gun because I got the fucking Big Bertha gun. It's so much fun.
Is that the one that's like a charge shot?
No, no, it's the one that gives you the ability where if you've got like two full ability gorges, he just machine guns until they're both empty and just peppers everything.
Oh yeah, I think that's the one I use the most. I think that's like,
Yeah,
is that it's like the best tank one, right? The one with the most like health and shit.
I think so. It's the
That's the one I
one
use the
after
most.
the plate falls and like everyone's who survived in Sector 7 are like in that playground and they've like set up like makeshift shops and stuff. It's the one you buy there. But it's really good. But yeah, I'm having a whale of a time. I'll probably finish it before the weekend's done. And then yeah, find another game to play.
Yeah, it's like the one thing I was just thinking then when you're talking about the weapons and shit. One thing I really really like is the way that, unlike obviously a lot of the old like Final Fantasy and a lot of old like RPGs in general, they just decided to make it actually like visible when you change shit. Like
Yeah,
you change your weapon and it's actually a different weapon.
yeah,
Like, and you fill the materia slots and it actually appears in the materia slots and
yeah.
stuff.
It's
Like
so satisfying.
it's super super cool. I was that was always a big thing for me in like RPGs.
Yeah,
That you could always equip new gear and nothing would happen. It's like,
yeah,
it just buffs these stats, and I found that very boring. Like I really really like having that little. It's just a little thing. It doesn't really change much. It's that little visual aid of just like, hey, this is a different sword.
yeah.
And also the character switching thing was super good as well because I just played as Tifa all the time.
Yeah, Tifa's got some really fun combos and stuff. I think one thing that's it's really impressive in the game is just like just I don't know if it was intentional or whatever, but like it's just the amount of combo stuff you can do with materia that you just obviously couldn't do in the turn-based game. Um, and
Well,
just
I
like
like that you can even like you can actually do combos in game.
yeah,
Like you can knock people up and then like keep them in the air and stuff. You can like juggle them and shit.
yeah, and it's like there's in the original, like when I'm playing through, yeah, there's like you could use different kinds of materia, but like the main things I'm going to be using is just like fire, whatever, blah blah. But in this one, I'm like using more like out the box stuff and like and weirder things just to see how things go. And I actually get excited to find more material. Whereas in the first game, after you got like a certain amount of them, you're like, okay, here's some more materia, thanks. Um, but yeah, I think it's a wonderful. I am excited to play it to the end and like see the next part and stuff. Um, I think the only thing I'd change is they should have found a way to shoehorn the entire party into the first part because I want to play as Vince and Sid and everyone.
Yeah, I mean my only like I think my only qualm with the game as a whole, like pretty much from the entire thing, um, was that I felt like I had to use one specific comp,
Hmm.
which was Cloud Barrett Aerith,
Hmm.
just because I felt like it was the best comp in the game. Like in terms of having that balance of somebody that can taunt and tank, somebody that can effectively heal quite well, and then the damage dealer. Like I felt like that was the best combo. I always wanted to use Tifa, but I just felt like I don't know if you can't get rid of Cloud, so like like that's the spot that Tifa would fill, right? As like the same spot as Cloud. So
Yeah. And it's just because I don't know if I'm just making this up, but I
you
do
probably
remember
are.
like Red 13 being in like some of the promotional images.
No,
But oh, okay, never mind.
I don't. Anyway, but I mean, I don't really have a collective memory of Final Fantasy VII remake promo images. So
Yeah, because I thought like Red 13 was going to be in it at least, but it's just a stock 4 so far. So I'm
wait,
like,
you've not met Red 13 yet.
no.
Okay, sorry, you've got a bit to go then. Yeah,
Oh, is he?
okay. Yeah,
Um,
you've got a bit to go then. I mean, Shinra building is a big section.
yeah.
It's a
Um,
really big section.
well, that's good because I thought like
Sorry to spoil it.
no, 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 no. I'm fine. Like he's literally in like a poster that I saw. Like I think it's on the splash art for when you buy the game on the PSN store, which is what it did. So I was like, is he not going to be in it at all? Which is I've been just sort of like had in the back of my head, like the bit where you try and find Wedge after the player collapses, and you're in that first lab underneath the thingy mobile. I'm like, oh, this must be where he's going to pop up, and he just didn't. And I'm like, lads, I'm getting near the end of the game.
You're just
Um,
playing like the fucking home improvement sound in your head whilst you think about it.
I don't think so, Tim. Um, but yeah, so I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Great game. I would gets a full recommend from me. I know everyone's sour, not everyone, but most people who did have a problem with it soured on it at the ending. I haven't gotten to it yet, so maybe I don't know. I'll
we'll
top
talk
10.
about that. We'll talk about that when you get there.
Yeah. But as it's going right now, I think it's fine. And also, as I said, touched on last episode, as someone who reads comics, alternate universes and people just changing the plot and subverting expectations, it's fine. It's like par for the course for me. I'm like, oh, they're going in this direction now. This is fine. Um,
I mean, I really, really, really um enjoyed the ending. I thought the ending was fantastic. So I want to talk to you as soon as you're done with it.
I will
Like I want to talk to you
try
as
now.
soon as you're done, dude.
But I have a feeling, if, for me, what ideally what I'd want from the ending to this part is just the exact same story progression as the first game, except everyone's wearing their poppies. That would
Yeah, that'd be ideal, wouldn't it? Ooh,
True class
that'd
act
be
that Cloud
fucking
strives to
ideal.
act. He's a soldier. He knows what it means to be in combat. Um, yes. Speaking of
I'm Yoda. I'm a soldier. Huh?
being part of something, we have a question is
God,
on it.
your segue
I love to
getting
segue,
better and better every single week.
love to sidestep, love to segue, love to link and synergize.
You,
Um,
still, you ever look at the word segue and think that doesn't look right?
no, I don't find myself looking at the word segue quite
do,
a
you
lot.
know what I mean? When you look at it like SEGUE,
I think
like
scuba
Segui,
is more of a weird word for me.
Scubba.
Scuba. Scuba. Put on some scuba
Scubba.
gear.
Scubba Divid.
So the question is, James, if you could
Yeah.
be in any band ever, which band would it be and what would you play?
This is a really like difficult one just because there's probably a lot like, that I'd like to be part of.
Yeah.
I think I would love to play guitar and fiddler,
Okay.
just like a sort of like surf rock band like that, because I feel like none of it's too crazy. Like the riffs and stuff aren't too crazy, it's not like super technical.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's one of the big things, right? Like if I had to play in like a super technical band, then I
Yeah.
feel like it would just be, unless I was really like I loved playing that
Yeah.
much, shows would be hard, man. Whereas with like a band like that just plays power chords or whatever and like little diddly riffs here and there, like if your whole music is like surf punk and stuff, you can
Yeah.
just get absolutely hammered. Like you can just be off it and you can still play it, which is what they do. That's the whole point, right? It's party
Yeah.
music, party punk. I think that'd be a good choice. I was, funnily enough, I was talking about this. I don't know if this counts for
Mm.
purpose of what you're asking here.
Yeah.
I was talking about this to a friend yesterday because I messaged him in the morning. Um, just a picture of, oh no, it wasn't a picture. It was a link to ABBA's "Gimme Gimme Gimme" video,
Okay.
and it's just them like like in the studio just vibing. And I was like, what I wouldn't give to just be in the studio with ABBA right now. Just
Yeah. It's like if you're part of a band, you're part of everything. So shows, recording
I think
sessions.
I think it's got to be. It's either, so if we're talking like modern stuff, then probably Fiddler, right?
Like,
If we're talking like old school stuff, I think Fleetwood Mac or ABBA would be just sick to just be around.
if I
Just
was in
like,
your shoes, I'd definitely pick ABBA or Fleetwood Mac because Fleetwood Mac,
yeah, Fleetwood Mac would be carnage though.
especially during recording room, as it's just a horrible, toxic environment.
Yeah,
Great,
exactly.
great
I'd love to be
album.
sat there though, just like, ooh, like Stevie, you can't say that. Sat in the corner of the room, just not invested at all, just like, ooh.
Oh no, don't do that. Oh no.
Just staring it up, staring the park.
Oh
Like,
my god, are you gonna take that?
I heard that he
This,
thinks your song's shit.
this line here seems a bit indirect. You don't want to say that with a bit more clarity, pal.
what other bands though? Like, what would you go for? What would you go for?
For me, if we're talking classic stuff, I just want to be the drummer for Rush because it's just most people who play the
Do you
drums
love Rush?
look up to Neil Peart. It'd just be just fun, just being part of 2112, being part of moving pictures, just everything, even the albums that where they fell into obscurity and were like singing about radio waves and shit like that. That's my shit. I don't give a fuck. Um, Obviously, one of my favorite bands is Japan, but like being a part of Japan and playing Japan's music would be weird because they got really into like sort of like music from Asia, and a lot of the theory behind that music is the absence of sound, like letting silences have their place on songs and stuff. So if I really enjoyed playing my instrument, I'd be too egotistical to allow the silence, the space to move around the music. Like, I want to be widdly diddling and fucking. So either Rush or lead guitarist for Judas Priest, just to play the.
Yeah, like I mean, so that's my other point. I was saying like, so if you're in a technical group, I think that would have the most sort of impact on you, and that would be the most memorable. Like playing in a band that does that kind of stuff, like big, grand shows and stuff like that, would be sick. That would be so cool.
Yeah,
But it would be a lot of work. You know, like Porcupine Tree or like Ghost or something as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be super cool, but it would be a lot of work. You know,
Yeah, but like
Rush are great though. By the way, I
yeah.
love Rush.
So like, but when you speak about like technical bands and stuff like that, like Judas Priest would be like the precipice of like how far I go into technical, where it's still like pageantry, still over the top. Because if you put me in fucking Dream Theater and had to learn music theory, I'd be like, no, this is crossing the boundary between look at me shred and I'm now just a nerd with a different job
Yeah,
now.
I would love to be a singer in general though. Like I have like I have the feeling of like stage presence, but I just can't sing. You know what I mean? Like I could get up there and
There's a
someone can
lot of
sing in the
bands that
background and
sing
I
in the
can dance around and like
stuff.
point at people,
Yeah.
but I can't do the singing bit. Is Geddy Lee still alive, isn't he?
Yes, it was Neil Peart, the drummer,
Neil
that
Peart died, didn't he? Yeah. The best Geddy Lee impression.
absolutely not. Um, I think modern day, I'd just be one of the Free Nationals and just tour
One
around the
likes
back.
to believe in the fate of the music. That's my Geddy Lee impression. Enjoy.
Mr. Lee on the podcast. Wow, thanks for joining us. Um, so yeah, if it was modern times, I'd just be part of like the Free Nationals, so I could just tour with Anderson Paak and just have
Yeah, see,
access to those cool vocoder boxes and just make myself sound like a robot all day.
like I really do think that the best position to be in would be just like a band that's fairly big but not enormous.
Yeah,
Because then you can just vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like just like as you say with that, like playing in a band that's going to do big shows. A lot of cool peers are going to be there. You're going to be able to like play at their shows or be with them too,
yeah,
and you're just doing all right. Like you're just doing all right. It's not like big sort of Super Bowl stadiums type stuff. You know,
yeah.
it's just good.
Even if it
Um,
was Super Bowl stadiums, like I'm not the focus. I'm just one of the guys in the band who's just there jamming, having a fun time. I know my shit. I enjoy doing my shit. But when I leave, I want to just go back to my life. Don't care about any particular fame or anything. Just like basically, you'd want to be, in my opinion, you'd want to be a musician's musician. So you get
yeah,
hired, picked up, but you wouldn't get like rabid fans like mailing you their severed cocks or anything.
well, like I swear we are on some sort of like same wavelength. I
But the
was
same
thinking about
person,
this.
we're literally just
We
this is
really are pretty much. Like, someone said that to us once, didn't they?
it was one of our co-workers, I believe, is Jenny
Yeah, I think
Dixon.
it was Jenny. Shout out to Jenny.
Um, but yeah, it's because like you don't exist. Like you're a figment of my imagination. I just keep
Yeah, I actually this whole thing doesn't exist. This is an hour of you talking to yourself, and then it's. But no, like so I was thinking at the same time that he said that, like being a backing like player for someone
yeah,
really cool would be the vibe. Like as much as I'm really cool and I would like to be the center of attention.
yeah,
Imagine being like back in the day, like playing backing band for Prince or something. And
yeah.
you just get to witness Prince just doing his thing, like on a daily basis. Just get to see Prince doing his thing on the stage. Like, whoa,
Have you
there he
ever
goes again.
have you ever watched any videos by a YouTube creator called Todd in the Shadows?
I have not. No, I will look it up though.
It's quite interesting. He does two series that are really interesting. One's called Train Records, and the other one's called One Hit Wonderland.
Hmm.
He basically looks at like people who've had one hit wonders and stuff like that. He takes requests on his Patreon of like songs to do. And in that series, you find out that all these one hit wonder people are supposedly one hit wonders people. If they're smart enough, some of them just pivot into like songwriting and then like, oh yeah, they were behind this, and it's like the biggest fucking song of last year.
Yeah, there's that happens a lot. There is a lot of
Yeah,
people that have like gone just into songwriting and they write big songs for a
yeah.
lot of people.
And then Train Records, he takes like notoriously bad albums and like figures out the story behind them and stuff like that. It's really interesting. He has a episode on the Scatman, which is I now know the law behind the Scatman, which is indispensable knowledge to someone like me who enjoys just useless knowledge. But no, I'd fully recommend it. He's great videos. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I mean if you look at a lot of these sort of musicians, a lot of like more smaller artists, I guess, they write a lot of stuff for a lot of people. like what's his name? Dylan Brady from 100 Gags.
Yeah,
He writes a lot. Like he writes and produces for like Charlie XCX,
yeah.
Rico Nasty, Dorian Electra. I think he did something with like Kenny Beats at one point as well.
He did some of the production on the Gardens' latest record as well.
Yeah, he does a lot. Like, and a lot of people do that. There's one I'm really trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. There's one person who I think comes from like either one of these like more obscure bands or like a metal band or something, but writes for like big pop musicians.
I don't know,
And I
but
can't remember who it is.
there's two people in R&B who I always point to as a great example of this. First one's obviously Frank Ocean, who started as just like a writer on Def Jam,
Mm,
and he was just like writing great songs, and then eventually thought, "Fuck it, why am I giving these songs away and stuff?" But obviously, every now and then he still writes for Beyonce and stuff like that. But like, it's him and the perfect example of a musician's musician or like a songwriter who pops up and gets work everywhere, but hasn't had their own album that's just kicked people's dicks off. Is a guy called James Fauntleroy. Like, whenever he's on like a Vince Staples album or he's on a Rihanna song or something, he just fucking kills it. And it's just a shame that he hasn't got his own album out. He's part of like that Cocaine 80s collective.
mm.
It's just brilliant. I'd want to be in that position if I was in the music industry. Just like everyone who actually use it. It sounds a bit egotistical, but everyone whose opinions matter, like your peers, if you're really that into music, you don't really value like a random average Joe doesn't know anything about music's opinion compared to someone who does know what they're doing and can recognize all the cool little things you're doing. So I'd want to be in that position where people who matter are like, hey, nice
Yeah,
fucking
no, I mean,
pipes,
like
dude.
it's songwriting credits. So like, it's always interesting to look into this kind of stuff for me. Like I was talking to a friend about this as well recently. That when it comes to like music in general, I love looking into the background of stuff.
Yeah,
Like I really love just like small documentaries or little articles about like how it was to record something,
yeah,
or like what was the one I was reading recently? Oh, there was one I was reading recently about. You remember Labyrinth?
yeah,
So there was an article, an interview with Labyrinth, and he was basically saying that the music at the time that he did and like Tiny Temper did and stuff, like pop rap hybrid, was terrible,
yeah,
and he knew it, and they all knew it. But the record labels were old white blokes that wanted something that their daughter would listen to. Like
yeah,
that was the whole thing. Was like, would my daughter listen to this as like an old executive?
yeah,
Which is why they came out with that music.
mhm,
Um, and he's saying like nowadays with people like Stormzy and stuff leading the way, um, they're showing that people want this unfiltered style.
yeah,
People do want this unfiltered, natural style that they like their style that they would do. Um, Rather than just something manufactured like that they've set out, been laid out for them by the record company. And he was saying that like because apparently he released more stuff, um, but nobody was noticing it because they were all just calling him the rapper. They were
yeah,
he's a singer mostly, and they were releasing he was releasing his own stuff, but people were like, oh, the rapper Labyrinth whenever he was on
yeah,
anything. And he was like, "Well, no, I did a couple of bits of that. Like, that was my thing, but I don't want to do that anymore. Like,
yeah.
I want to do this now." And it's wild. I love these little like dives, like little musical dives, just into how things were made and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like anything really. Because I was watching there's like a 5 part like mini documentary series, like 10 minutes an episode, of like the lead up to the first time Lexus on Fire broke up, and each episode is like one of their albums, and the story behind the cover for the Old Crows Young Cardinals album was literally someone from another band. I can't remember the name of the band. I think it's a British band. The lead singer from that band just sent them a picture of just a fucking cardinal that he painted. It's a really nice picture. You see it on the album cover, and they made that their album cover because they really like their friend's painting and just shit like that. It's
Yeah, I
so
love
good.
little factoids like that, like little factoids, little bits. It's nice, isn't it? It's just nice.
Yeah,
I know the pitch you're talking about as well. I like the track Young Cardinals very much so.
big
It's
tune.
It's a bit of a banger, isn't it?
It
It's a
is.
bit of it's a little bit of a banger.
Speaking of bangers,
Go on.
what about bangers in a
Bangers
video
and
game
smash.
sense, pal? I have it.
What about sausages?
Black pudding, milk.
Baby.
Um, so the other day, I saw a tweet where someone was talking about the current leader of the Labour Party, Keir Starmer, being on desert island discs, and how they described him as a thoroughly boring man.
What
Hilarious.
desert island pricks?
Which which gets a what would you take to the island? I'd take me jelly spine.
Yeah,
He's just a
like
fucking
desert
alien
island
wearing
dish
a
with
man suit.
fucking
I can't stand him.
desert island dish with boring wankers like that. Just like just after one or two, it's like let's just wrap this up. Let's just finish up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll take Sam Smith. Like, oh, okay, here we go.
But, what I what I got from that was like, oh, I wonder what I would take as my desert island discs. But obviously, that's probably copyrighted. So I can do it with video games. If you were stranded on a desert island, James, you could only take 3 video games. Obviously, no matter what you pick, whatever platform on this magical island, you do have the facilities to play the game. No
Can I
internet,
play them online?
download new ones. I mean, yeah, theoretically, in this
Okay,
scenario,
because this is like that's the big one for me.
yeah. So 3 games. What are they?
Um, World of Warcraft, like hands down. If I'm gonna spend a shit ton of time in one place,
Yeah,
World of Warcraft, like just give me that. Um, See, this is a tough one. So if we're talking like online shit, I'd go World of Warcraft, like League of Legends as well, and then probably just some like FPS game, like I don't know, like COD or some shit, just like free things I can just play online. But if we're
okay.
talking single player, right? If we're talking you've got no internet and you just have to play like these games,
Yeah,
like through and through, probably Dark Souls 3,
okay.
just because it's got a decent amount of content and I like that game.
Yeah,
Um, Marvel versus Capcom 3, I want to say.
not Ultimate Marvelous Capcom 3.
Well, it's the same thing. You know what I
It's actually it's not the same
mean?
thing. It was rebalanced and had extra
Yeah,
characters.
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, well, UMVC 3 then, just because I feel like if I'm going to spend a lot of time somewhere, right, like a story focused game is not the play.
Yeah,
But if you do story focused shit, like you're gonna get bored because like, oh yeah, this is the bit where this happens, this is the bit where this happens. Whereas if it's like a fighting game or like a game that story's kind of loose, you know, it's kind of repetitive.
yeah,
Um, I could probably take like Binding of Isaac as well, for example.
cool.
But yeah, like if I had a fighting game and I could just like sit there and force myself to play it every single day and just get really good at it, I think that would be fun. I think that would be super fun.
Yeah.
What are your picks?
Well, my pick's very simple, and the reasoning behind them is very simple as well. First
Well,
one is my favorite game of all time, X-Men Legends 2: Rise of Apocalypse for the GameCube. It is story driven, but it's like don't know if you ever played it. It's like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. It's the same company. So it's like a huge roster of X-Men. You pick a team of 4. You can play it through as many combinations as you want. It's lengthy enough that it doesn't get boring if you play through it again and again. Lots of costumes and shit to unlock because it's a comics game. And it's a comfort game for me. It's my favorite game. Lots of happy childhood memories linked to it.
oh
So that's the first one. Second one would be Hades because technically you can't ever finish Hades. Um,
yeah, this is what I mean. That's why I was saying like Binding of Isaac or something like a roguelike where it is constantly just new content, like pretty much. I say new in air quotes.
yep. So I wouldn't ever get bored of it. And my last one is, depending on when I go to the island, the most recent version of FIFA.
Soon beanies.
Yes. So FIFA, because I'm going to this magical island. I'm a proper lad. I'm a proper lad. Um, so I'm not going to know anything of the civilization anymore. As far as I'm concerned, this is the most recent FIFA. The future is entirely up to me. Great stuff. And there's just something very simple, very satisfying about a FIFA game. I can sink hours into them. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like something. I feel like a like some sort of strategy game, like might be good, like Total War Warhammer or some shit.
Yeah, or a
Like
sport.
something that you can kind of just like sink hours into and like have it be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that
Um,
could be fun. What about Cool Spot?
what do you mean?
Did you ever play Cool Spot?
I did not know.
So Cool Spot was like so my brother had the weirdest like SNES games.
Okay,
We had a lot of weird SNES
I
games.
never had a SNES, so
Yeah, well, I mean, I've still got actually. Shout outs to Gary Smith who bought me a copy of Super Troll Islands for the Super Nintendo because I
nice.
mentioned it was one of the games I loved playing with my cousin. There was a game called Cool Spot, and Cool Spot was the Seven Up. It was the red part of the Seven Up logo.
Oh dear.
That's
Oh
who
wait,
he was.
I think
Like,
I vaguely recognize that. Yeah.
yeah, if you type it in, he's great. Like, look how fucking sick he looks. He's literally just a red spot with like hands and feet and sunglasses. Like, he's cool. He's real cool, and he rides a giant Seven Up ball. So he surfs. He surfs on a giant Seven Up ball. Like,
That's the apex of your gaming child.
yeah, so let's just play Cool Spot all day, every day. Imagine coming off the island. What did you do? I finished Cool Spot a few times.
Why did you? That was a tropical island. How have you not got like sunstroke? How do you survive out there? You just look at them dead in the eye and say, "Let's just say I found a cool spot."
I'm just like, imagine just sort of just like using that visual image, like I am surfing on a 7 Up ball in the middle of the water. But I miss those like weird brand like combo games that they used to
I
do.
remember that arcade game they brought out for the 360 that was sponsored by
Doritos.
Doritos, and it was just a free 200 gamer score.
Yeah, Doritos fucking there's two. There's Doritos Crash Course.
Yeah, the one where you.
And there's like Doritos Dash or something, right? Where it's like Dino Dash or some shit. It was like dinosaurs chasing you.
Oh no, there's the dinosaur one was the one I got.
Yeah, I had the dinosaur one as well.
What?
But oh man, like Pepsi Man as well. Pepsi Man's a classic. You ever seen Pepsi Man?
I'm aware of Pepsi Man and not aware of any video games involving Pepsi Man.
Oh, Pepsi Man had a video game where he was like being chased by a giant Pepsi can, and he had to like run through residential neighborhoods collecting Pepsi. Like, it's super good.
But that doesn't make any sense. If he wanted to collect Pepsi, why don't you just turn around and let the giant Pepsi engulf him?
Well, because it would kill him. It'd roll over him. It was too big. It's too big a Pepsi. They had them like they only really stopped during the 360 generation.
Yeah.
Like I think that's when they stopped doing it. Because I mean, they even had like remember Sneak King. Everyone wanted Sneak King for the gamer score, and it was a disc that they were giving out at Burger King in the States.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a disc they were giving out in the States, and it was just like you just played as the Burger King King, just like being a weird nonce around this neighborhood.
Local sex
But
pest, Burger King.
yeah, just sneaking about. But you got like decent gamer score for it. But they used to do it a lot. Like they used to be just brand deals with any like product to make some like really shitty little game, especially in the Game Boy and the first era of like the PC.
Yeah.
Like I remember getting like Golden Grahams games and shit. Shout outs to Golden Grahams, by the way. Good cereal.
Great shit. I remember my first ever gamer memory was my dad
Gaming.
brought back a PC one day from work. I think one of his colleagues was getting a new PC, so he just gave my dad this one. It was shit. But he bought me and my brother this like Thomas the Tank Engine racing game. So the whole thing was like there was like three tracks on the screen, maybe four, and like you had to make sure like there was no blockages and stuff like that, and turn signals and stuff like that. It was so good, and it scratched an itch for my tiny baby mind. And for the life of me, I don't think that game ever actually existed because I haven't been able to find it since.
I remember something similar on the I think the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
Like I'm pretty sure it was on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends.
let me see if
It was
one.
it was a the Super Nintendo one was super weird. I think it was very different. where like it was one of those games that it was almost like track and field, but with Thomas the Tank Engine characters.
Yeah.
You just like had to hammer the button like to race the other guy. You'd be like, oh, that was a good race. Nicely done. Well done, pal. I'm off to
Oh,
be sealed away into the tunnel because I've run out of my use.
you're right. It is Thomas Tankage and Friends. Oh,
Is that the one?
these menus.
Is that the same one?
Yeah, it's this one. Hold on.
Yeah, we had
Sorry
that as well.
for audio listeners of the podcast. Well, you can only be audio listeners.
Yeah, sorry for people that aren't looking into our living rooms right now. Um,
Shit. Oh, this takes me back. Oh, why
yeah,
am I so
Thomas the
old?
Tank Engine's like dark as fuck, isn't it? In the
Yeah,
end,
it's a good
like,
bit, though.
what was that one where they sealed him in the tunnel?
Oh, I think it was just I think that was like the antagonist of the episode. It wasn't just someone they randomly put in, but at the same time, it's a terrible fate for a train
Yeah,
to just be bricked up.
he refused to come out of the tunnel because it's raining and he didn't want his paintwork to get damaged.
Yeah, he's been a prima donna.
And the Fat Controller decides he has to be punished and removes the tracks and bricks him up in the tunnel forever.
Yep,
Like, what?
it's okay though. I think the whole thing was that he wouldn't come out of the tunnel because he wouldn't put a poppy on. So,
And to
stand up,
really put the boot
Fat
in,
Controller decided to deport him to hell.
narrator star sounds things off by asking the viewers, "Don't you think he deserved his punishment? Don't you think he deserved his punishment?" Like Ringo, no. Like apparently that's like the last you see him.
Yep.
Like that's it. He's
Yeah, he
done.
wasn't like a big character.
Yeah, they just sealed him up forever. Like crazy, that isn't it?
I Thomas the Tank Engine, like I don't know what it's like these days, but like the classic episodes were a nightmare for parents because like every episode was like a crash or something, and the way they do it would have them like come off the track and like go into like a giant pile of like dirt and stuff. So me and my brother would go outside and just reenact that in
Jump
the
in the
soil. Like,
dirt. At least it's not Watership Down. Watership Down is that's some dark shit.
oh yeah, that was catches people off guard. It's like, oh, it's cartoon animals. Oh no.
Oh no,
Oh
yeah,
god,
this
no.
like on this topic though, which is we haven't noted this down as a topic for the day. But you know, just while we're on this topic, what's your favorite like fan theory for cartoons? You know, like cartoon fan theories about old
Yes.
kids cartoons.
Yeah.
Like the one that always sticks out to me is the fucking Rugrats one.
I'm not
The
familiar with the Rugrats one.
So the Rugrats theory, I think, is that Angelica like is making them all up. Yeah, the Rugrats theory is that the Rugrats are a figment of Angelica's imagination. Chucky died in 1986 along with his mother.
Gee,
That's why Chaz is a nervous wreck all the time. Tommy was born in 1988, but he was a stillborn, which is why Stu is constantly in the basement making toys for the son who never had a chance to live.
Jesus.
The DeVilles had an abortion in 1990. Angelica couldn't figure out whether it would be a boy or a girl, thus creating the twins.
Oh no.
Like, it's wild, dude. It's wild. Like the saying that just the way that obviously none of this is true,
Yeah.
but the fact that someone's come up with this theory, you're like, that could be believable. Like that could be part of it.
I mean, for me, it's returning to Thomas the Tank Engine. It's that theory that the island of Sodor is the only thing left functioning, and the rest of the world is just dead, and that they're the only beings left on the planet,
Oh, that's
like
a dark one, right?
sentient
Yeah.
beings and stuff. I can't remember if there's no life anywhere else, or it's just unlike anything on the island. Because there is that episode where a train from another region visits the island. It's called the City of Truro, and it doesn't have a face. It's just a normal train. Um, I think that's linked into the theory somehow. I haven't read up extensively on it, but I think it's just amusing to me that like these mutant train things have either been hunting to extinction or the result of like radiation and stuff like that.
That is dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all really dark though. These fan theories are never like, oh, this is fun.
Well, yeah, because that's
Like they're
the thing. Like people love to turn seemingly innocent, like childish things into something more than they are.
Well, it's like my favorite one's probably the funniest one. It's got to be the Postman Pat one.
Um,
The
again, I'm
the
probably
po-
down.
the Postman Pat is the father of everyone in town because because all the kids are ginger, and Postman Pat is the only ginger in the village.
Jesus.
So Postman Pat just go around pumping.
Postman Pump.
Like I'm gonna link you some.
Disgusting.
I'm gonna link you some. It's so funny though, because like there's characters that are like, oh, I'm the son of so and so, right?
Yeah.
And it's just he just looks like Postman Pat. It's like Jeff Pringle's son. He's just Postman Pat. He's just a little Postman Pat. Like Chief
Jeez.
Jagger, he's just been absolutely pumping. Like,
Oh hell. Oh no.
it's weird, isn't it?
Although to
Absolute
bring the
pumper.
topic around to a more bright thing, what is the most memorable like children's TV show intro to you?
Memorable intro. Obviously, I think a lot of the old cartoons like Digimon and Pokemon and shit. Obviously, I remember all them. It was always the songs, wasn't it? It was always like whatever song was catchiest was the one that you
See,
remembered the most.
not for me, because I remember just the general like it was like something jazzy. It wasn't anything too wild, but like the Men in Black cartoon, like that plays on a loop inside of my head just because I
The,
remember it being like so much more impressive than anything else.
the X-Men 90s cartoon. That's a fucking
Yeah,
banger.
that was good.
That's a tune. That play that at my wedding and my funeral.
Until I was like 12 or something.
That's gonna be the song that I do my wedding dance to. I don't give a fuck if my future wife, whoever you may be,
I was just gonna
um, approves or not. I'm
do
just
the
gonna
song.
run around just sort of pretending I'm all the characters. Just super drunk, just like X-Men 90s theme playing, just stood on a table, like pretending I've got claws.
Just run in dressed as Gambit. Just don't open the pack of cards. Just lob a full
Just
Still
chuck them
celebrate
at someone.
card on the back of someone's head. Sorry, man.
It'd be memorable at least.
Great shit.
No, Poddington Peas as well. That was a memorable one for
Of
me.
course, yeah.
Poddington Peas were weird little lads.
They were.
Probably racist.
Yeah, like creepy was definitely racist.
Oh yeah,
He has
creepy. God.
the aggressive features of a gammon. So yeah.
Do you wanna know a very sad and kind of interesting one?
Yes.
There's a theory that the Smurfs are a racist Nazi-like faction.
I mean, there's hardly any diversity in them, so
Well, the reasoning here is that the fact that their leaders wear a pointed red hat and
yeah,
they all wear white hats.
yeah,
Their villain Gargamel is a big could be seen as a big offensive stereotype.
yeah,
His cat is named Azrael, which is the name of the angel of death in Jewish tradition.
yeah.
Apparently, the first comic strip, The Black Smurfs, was intimately concerned with what you might classify as a racial threat.
Jesus.
Because in that album, the Smurfs are sick, and when they're sick, they don't turn purple or red, they become black. And when they become black, they lose all trace of their intelligence. Holy fuck. Smurfs is racist.
Yeah, fuck the Smurfs, dude.
Yeah, fuck the Smurfs.
Fuck the
What the
Smurfs.
fuck? Who wrote the Smurfs? Like,
H.P. Lovecraft, I'm gonna say.
yeah, I mean, if you're talking old racist, then
No,
H.P.
that's
Lovecraft
literally
is
what it is.
right up there.
I have like a compilation because Call of the Cthulhu and like the stuff he's most famous for isn't that big. So I bought a book wanting to read them, but it's full of like loads of horror stories that he wrote, and some of them are fine. It's just like there's one that's like a take on Frankenstein, or like a mix between Frankenstein and Reanimator. But like one of them, the whole scary thing, scary in quotation marks, you can't see me doing it, is a dude slowly turning into a black guy.
Jesus.
And he's like, apparently that was a horrific thing to happen. Then there's another story a few pages later where it's a guy turning, it's the exact same story, except instead of turning into a black guy, he's turning into a monkey. or an ape-like creature because he opened something from an expedition from Africa, and you're like, all right, you ain't slick, boy. This
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, that's so like not subtle in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
So
it,
blatant.
but then you see pictures of H.P. Lovecraft, and you're like, yep, yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah,
racist.
yeah. Like H.P. Lovecraft was racist for his time. Do you know what I mean? Like I think I mentioned this like before that people always use this thing like, oh, that was the time, that was the time. No, no, no. H.P. Lovecraft was like insanely racist for the time that he was in.
Yeah,
Like even more so than the just regular like what ignorant person in that day and age. Like
he
he
looks
was
exactly like
real
the
bad.
type of like it looks like exactly the type of dude who like if they saw a black person in real life, they'd be real quiet, then go home and talk shit about them on the internet.
Yeah,
Except he didn't have the
yeah.
internet,
Like
but he wrote some fucking
which
stories.
which is a shame because I'm glad people are utilizing his works in different ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like and making it not him and not about him. But
yeah,
I love like his cosmic horror shit. 100%. I think that
yeah.
shit's
Of
cool
course,
as
like
fuck.
we just take his shit and make better versions of it.
Yeah, exactly. Just fuck him off and bin him off and bin. I like that.
Fuck
Bin him
him, man.
off.
Smurfs. I know he didn't write them, but fuck him.
Bin him off, pal. Bin him off. Get him in the fucking sea.
Should be the fucking sea. Bury him in a sea of
Didn't
puppy.
even wear a poppy, did he?
Ah, he didn't
Didn't even
fucking.
wear a fucking poppy.
And then some nerds could be like, "Oh, but technically he preceded the poppy." Well, not the flower itself, but the whole notion of wearing poppies.
Nah, no, he didn't. There's no excuse.
No, it didn't fucking. If the baby Jesus could wear a fucking poppy, HP Lovecraft. We're going way off now. I think we should
Class
wrap
act.
this.
Class act. Absolutely class.
We know we're still on track when the Cookie Monster's wearing a poppy on Good Morning Britain or whatever it was.
Oh god, that was so funny. That
Class act
post though,
Cookie Monster.
like
I
the
forget.
comments on that post. So it's a picture Felix Biederman posted of like he's been doing a whole bit. He's been doing a whole like British like poppy guy bit, and I love it. Like I love Chabo Trap House. I think they're funny as hell. And he's just been doing this whole bit where he posted this picture of Chris Tarrant from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and the Cookie Monster wearing poppies. And the caption's just tears in my eyes at this pure class, and then just a British flag. And the comments are just like, me remember fallen. And then one poppy resign. Oh, these C is for class. That's good enough for me. These comments, oh my god, oh these are so funny. He's changing his name to the Biscuit Monster in honor of the British troops. And man, the last one, have a pint for Cookie Monster.
God,
I love it. I love making fun of British culture as much as I love like
British
engaging with it
culture
from
is
time to time.
so fucking dumb and
It
stupid.
is, isn't it?
You make
I
fun
don't
of
get me wrong.
it.
Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I love engaging with it. Sometimes I love just like yes, having a pint at the pub with the boys. You know that kind of shit. Like I'm about that, right? But I do think it's so dumb and it's so funny. Just fucking class that. Like, clap for the NHS. That'll solve all our issues. What if we fund them? Oh, it's socialism. That
We
clap
love
for
to
them
do
though.
the fucking bare minimum over here, don't we? Gee,
We're all dead. We're all gonna die at some point soon because of this hellhole country. But
I think we should wrap it up on that note.
anyway, yeah. On that note, clap for the podcast.
That's for the podcast. Absolutely.
Absolute class cast.
Beautiful.
Don't forget to fund us by sending me money on PayPal. Nope, socialism. That clap for me instead. Oh, oh God.
What are you up to in the coming week, pal?
Oh, just fucking crying, laughing. Apparently, absolutely just losing breath from laughter.
Nice.
No, I will be working again. So I'll be streaming some more Demon Souls. Twitch.tv/JimothyZ.
Nice.
Gonna do Demon Souls. I'm gonna do probably a spooky game sometime soon. I'm also thinking of going back to Phasmophobia next week because it looks like they're bringing back they're bringing the new prison level in, so that could be fun.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna be like vibing on Twitch, doing my thing, doing my
Two.
thing. Yeah, playing Demon Souls, playing whatever else. I might play Miles Morales as well.
Hey.
Cheeky bit of that. But yeah, I'm getting more into the streams. I've been streaming like real consistently lately, like almost every day. Yeah, gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be playing World of Warcraft on the side because I'm
Hey.
I'm addicted again.
New expansion, wasn't there?
Oh, it's buzzing me. I love it. It's like the new expansion is basically just like all Warhammer Fantasy. Like they basically just took like Warhammer Fantasy regions and just gone, fuck it, these are in the game now. Like there's like a Nurgle region, there's like a like Vampire Counts region. Like it's pretty sick. It's
That's cool.
pretty
I
sick.
guess it's the first expansion since a couple ones. I think it's Warlords of Draenor I didn't come back for, but I came back for every expansion apart from this most recent one because there was too much shit happening, so it caught me by surprise.
Hmm.
So I'll probably get around to eventually
I,
having a
I
look.
I enjoyed it. Like it's like so for me, like leveling experience is super easy, right?
Yeah,
Like I got to 60 like no problem. Um and the questing is very much like story questing. I think they learned a lot from Final Fantasy 14.
yeah.
In that
Fucking
quests aren't
great
just like
MMO.
random quests.
Yeah,
Like it's all stuff that's building towards something. Which is great. I like that. I think that's fantastic. Someone posted a picture where it was like the zones are basically comparable. I agree with this to Doom Eternal, Hercules, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Bloodborne. That's like the leveling zones
great.
and the vibe they've got.
Right. Well, me personally, I'm gonna finish Final Fantasy VII. Maybe move on to another game. I'm torn between finally finishing the Kingdom Hearts series,
Oh
maybe
God, no! Don't do
Ghost
that.
of Tsushima, maybe,
Yeah, do Tsushima.
or
Don't do Kingdom Hearts.
getting the because I've been playing so much Final Fantasy VII. I was thinking of maybe finally buying the expansions for 14 that I missed, which is the last two, I believe, and playing through them. Or give up and join World of Warcraft again. So we'll see where that goes. In terms of article writing, it's been a pretty slow month because there's been just so much happening. I haven't had time to do it. Although I have some free time over December, so keep an eye out for more stuff coming in December. And that's everything from me.
Yeah, all I'll say, don't bother with Kingdom Hearts. It's too much. They're good games, but it's too much, mate. It's too much.
I mean,
You
we'll see
get
how.
you get caught in the vortex, pal. You get caught in the vortex. Not worth it. Anyway, on that note,
Yep,
have a good week.
you too.
Enjoy yourself. Everybody at home. I'm trying to think of something like inspiring to say. I don't really have anything. It's December. Go wild.
Get
Spank
festive.
that monkey. Um,
Okay, okay. Spank that monkey, I guess. Goodbye, everyone.
get festive as well at the same time. Bye, everyone.